Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Shiv Malik, founder and CEO of Pool. We're going to discuss digital citizenship. Shiv, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me, Jill.
And I hear Pool is the infrastructure and technology solution fueling the growth of data unions. Can you tell me about data unions and Pool's mission?
Yeah, so a data union is basically a way in which people can monetize their data as a collective. So there's loads of these around. We counted at the last count 120. There's a good few in America. In fact, Pogo, I think, just raised 14 million. So, this ecosystem's really starting up. What Pool does is help support all of those data unions with a bunch of infrastructure, including a marketplace, an analytics solution, et cetera, et cetera.
Talk to us about your concept of digital citizenship and why it's important.
Yeah, so, we believe in redistributing power, value, and control in the data economy. And we think that, a lot of your viewers out there will be fed up, absolutely fed up with the way in which their data is treated, in the way that they're not really getting any value out of it. They can see other massive platforms making, tons of money out of this. And, for Pool, therefore, it's really about re-architecting the stakeholder relationships in the data economy. And the amazing thing is it's not even working for, big data buyers out there who desperately want, information about what people are doing. They can't get what they want out there. So, rebalancing all of this, ensuring that you get consensual relationships around data, that's the way forward.
Yeah, to see that pendulum shifting a bit. Data is growing at a meteoric rate, and social attitudes to data collection and gatekeeping are clearly shifting, to your point. What are you looking for from emerging regulation on data?
Well, what's amazing is that Europe has backed this idea almost entirely. So they have a couple of pieces of regulation. The first one is the Data Governance Act, which they basically back data unions with a very light touch regulation and say, hey, we'll give you a kite mark, like a trust mark for brokering personal data, and you have to have a fiduciary duty to your members. The second big thing that they're doing, and it's going to have a massive impact across the world, including America, of course, is they're saying by March 2024, anyone who's a user of Google and Facebook, Microsoft and Apple will be able to port their data in real time, just at the click of the button, to any other third party, including, of course, data unions. So they'll be able to monetize this stuff really quickly, just as cookies and Chrome is depreciating cookies and blocking them, third-party cookies. So this is really great timing for us. So, and finally, they're putting in 2 billion euros into supporting the ecosystem. So.
Yeah, Shiv, it's interesting. The more we talk about Web3 and the metaverse, and that kind of is more around the creator economy and users really being the ones to create the content and own the content. What is it about Web3 infrastructure that makes all this possible? Why are we having this conversation now?
So the missing bit in this whole thing, so data unions as an idea are really quite old. You can, read about 20 years ago, right? Why? Because it's an obviously brilliant idea. It's a great way in which to, in a sense, source data and do this. The missing bit of the technology stack has always been, how do you do micropayments, right? Because you want to pay people, $5, $7, $12 a month. And the data unions that we speak to are currently using solutions like PayPal or Stripe. It just costs too much, right? It doesn't scale. So blockchain layer 2s, it's all the rage at the moment. They're the solution, the missing, puzzle piece, if you want, in this technology stack. The other thing is obviously, when you go into the metaverse, what are you going to need? You're going to need like your data backpack, aren't you? Right? You're going to need to show up and tell people who you are. Data unions are a great way of doing that, right? Storing all the data that you've already shared with data unions in one simple vault, a data wallet. That's the way forward around identity and all these other things as well.
So a lot of it that you and I are talking about boils down to consent and control. How does Pool help people achieve this?
So we help all of these data unions basically set standards, do best practices, also give them the infrastructure. And finally, we are building that data wallet, right? That data wallet is going to be really, really important. It's called Pocket. It'll be out quite soon, we hope. And it'll allow people to find these data unions really easily. There's a bunch of them in the US already. They already started up. Join join and then copy and paste that data back into their own personal data vault. So, hopefully we'll be in a world where people don't have to fill out forms anymore, right? They can make money from, advertisers who can say, I'd love to know who I'm trying to serve this advert to. That hasn't been solved yet. That just hasn't been solved. In fact, we're taking a step back in the advertising world on that front with the end of cookies. So, that's really what we're looking for. It's that ease, it's that mobility, it's that convenience, and of course, it's that cash incentive.
And Shiv, this might sound a little bit amateurish on my end, but how much money can you make? Is this something you can make a career out of, supplement your income? I mean, how much money is available here?
Look, it's a great question. Everyone asks that question. At one end, some academics have said, $7 a month. Harvard Business Review a couple of years ago said the average American family of 4 will make $20,000 a year. So the answer lies somewhere between those two, presumably. But let's not forget, the advent of AI. What feeds AI is data, right? And if ordinary people have a stake in that economy, that's how you kind of leverage that worth, right? The data economy is actually pretty small at the moment. It's going to be a lot bigger when AI comes along. So, look forward for the promises. Join now, join early. And reap the rewards later on.
My next question, what's next? How do I get involved here?
So there are plenty of data unions out there which you can join. The thing to Google is, apps that make money, data unions. Pogo is a great one that just started up. Ozone, Swash, Big Token. In the EU, you've got Cake, you've got Generate. These are all great data unions to join. That's the place for people to start.
And I have to ask, are there risks associated with this?
Yeah, what you're doing here, obviously, is sharing information that you might not otherwise want to share, right? So you've got to be comfortable with this stuff. And obviously, these data unions should have then fiduciary duties to protect people's privacy so that you're not individually identified, right? That's the real key to getting those standards right. And we can't buy in, proper enterprise buyers without getting those standards right. So yeah, there are those issues which people need to understand. If you're really pro privacy, you don't want anyone to know anything you're doing, this is not for you. But if you like me, like perhaps you, we share information all the time, you're happy with a certain level of sharing, great, join in. Other people are making money from your data already, right? Why not actually make it yourself?
All right, good to check that out, Shiv. Appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you so much for the time, Jill.